You don't start the intro this time.
Sure. It's Mark and Pete podcast time.
That's ba.
I don't know. Hey, it's Mark and Pete
Loud.
Hey, it's Mark and Pete podcast time.
Well,
episode 6.
Welcome back, friends.
Yeah. How you doing? How you feeling? How about you, Mark? How you feeling?
I'm all right. Kind of a long night, but I've got these hangover pills now. And those are awesome. I think they work great. It's like a bunch of B12 and milk thistle and ghost root and whatever they got in there.
Sounds great. What are they called?
I forget. Purple tree or something. I got them on Amazon. I'll post an affiliate link down in the description. Right?
Yeah.
Are we doing that? Why are we not?
It's a little pro bono.
Yeah. If you want to
advertising, pay it forward a little bit.
If you don't like hangovers and you like the Mark and Pete podcast, click the affiliate link. Right.
Nice.
We're
getting there.
We're very good at business and marketing. And that's why this podcast is taking off like a rocket. Right.
Woo. Yeah, we're I think I could say we have some fans now.
Yeah, And someone said on some other podcast, you don't need 1 million fans. You need 1,000 really good ones, real loyal fans.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was.
Was it Mark Maron?
No.
I don't know.
No, see, he has
like the only podcaster I know.
He has 1 million listeners that don't like him, but they listen in because he got Obama on. You think one day we could have Obama on? He's probably easier to get right now because he's not active president.
Yeah. What would you talk to Obama about?
Catch up with him, see what he's doing. I saw a picture of him. He was doing what is it called when you ski and you're getting pulled by a boat on the water?
Water skiing?
Yeah. I think he's water skiing now.
Yeah. Does he still look good? He's still in shape.
Yeah. I mean, being president really messes you up. You ever see montages of pictures of presidents the year, that they became president and then 4 years later.
Oh yeah. In fact, it was Obama, I remember, because he went real gray.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
But
tough job.
Trump was kind of famously, 4 years later, looks like exactly the same.
Still made out of wax.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's more wax than man at this point. So,
You think his still works?
His penis?
Yeah.
I don't know. I imagine so. I think they've put enough research into it. I think they've got the boner thing figured out medically. Still working on cancer, but we'll keep you rock hard till you're dead. Yeah, that's the medical system for you.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this episode is sponsored by Hims or Roman. What's the boner pill that sponsors podcasts?
Hims, the only company that will cure your erectile dysfunction and your hair loss.
Yeah, they got all the bases covered. They should come out with a men's grooming product. Kick Manscaped, or they could buy Manscaped, and then they'd have the trifecta.
Yeah.
Start doing a little online therapy too. Monopolize all the businesses that advertise on podcasts. Do you need help with your taxes? Yeah. What's the episode about today, Pete?
Well, today I come to you with a bit of a
don't dive into
personal problem.
Well, okay. Let's hold off on that because we got to do the plug, right? We're going to do a plug. We're plugging another podcast, another great podcast that I've been enjoying.
The Blurbs podcast.
The Blurbs. Link in the description. Check them out if you haven't already. It's actually an old pal of mine, Ethan Stephenson, and Rachel Washington, who I don't know.
Who also has a podcast, I think.
Yeah, she's got one.
Yeah, they're very prolific people.
Yeah, super prolific. I don't know Rachel. I don't think, but she's great on the podcast. And Ethan, I know, is a spectacular character. He, incredible musician. Which I was listening to their podcast today, and he was playing a little guitar. He did a little music theory. They go all over the board. They do science, history. Sometimes they get a little spicy with a little politics, maybe. They're it's pretty good. Pretty good. I like the one about tongue-based. What do you call it? That happens with fish.
Cunnilingus.
No, parasites. Tongue-based parasites. They did an episode on that. It was pretty good because he actually talks about oceanic parasites that mount onto fish tongues.
It's cool. Fascinating. Super interesting shit.
It's a solid listen. I've been liking. Ethan's been doing like little mini blurbs too, and I especially like those because they're nice little bite size. You don't always have an hour to listen to a whole episode, but you can usually see one that's like 5-10 minutes. I can listen to that anytime.
So we actually got Ethan on a call, right?
Yeah, Ethan.
He's here.
He's on the line right now. He can't stay long. He mentioned he was at a party, but he said he could just hop on and do a little TikTok video conference with us. So Ethan, hey, how's the party?
When you're at a party and there's like 50 people there and you love them all deeply, but it's going to take you a fucking hour to say goodbye to everybody, so you just kind of duck out without saying goodbye.
Yeah, the Irish goodbye, right? Yeah, we've done that a time or two. Is that something that you do often, Ethan?
It's something I use often. In fact, it's become like a trademark of mine, really.
Huh. Yeah, I think we're similar in that way. Who likes saying goodbye? And sometimes
to every single person. You got to walk around the party, find everyone that you talk to, and say, I'm leaving. They're like, I don't care.
Yeah, and then we live in the Midwest, which there's a Midwestern goodbye too, right?
What's that?
Midwesterners are famous for a very long goodbye. You'll be like walking to your car, and they will keep you there in the driveway for 30 minutes, just talking to you until you have to start driving away, and then they'll be like yelling at you, trying to converse with you more.
Yeah. Okay, I've been there.
Yeah, they're just they're friendly people and they love chatting, so nothing wrong with that. Anyway, let's get back to Ethan. Ethan, you also mentioned you just done like a 23andMe or something, and
I'm not German.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to know.
Wow. 23andMe. Hey, sponsor the Blurbs podcast. Sponsor Mark podcast.
We are really fishing for sponsors in this episode. Now, Rachel couldn't make it, right, because there was a little emergency back at your studio, right? What happened there?
The French retaliated.
Oh, that sounds like a sticky situation. Well, I hope that
the French, though, they're not famous fighters, really. They're more the turn tail and run away, surrender type.
One instant. Is it multiple times that the French have surrendered, or has it been one time and we just won't let it go?
No, they're cowards.
All right, you can't just pick fights with countries, Pete.
Fight me, all of France.
All right. Well, it seems like Ethan's uncomfortable, and he's gonna have.
Now you can tell that this usually has a negative connotation towards whoever leaves, right?
Not at all, Ethan. It was great having you on, and look forward to hearing more from the Blurbs podcast. Right. Yeah. All right. Now we get into the content.
Yeah. So today, let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Pete wants to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. We work in advertising. And for some reason, well, we work with a lot of techie people, and techie people tend to love Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, and so it just so happens that this week I was invited to a little Dungeons and Dragons game.
This week?
Well, no, I was just invited, and so next week I'll be playing Dungeons and Dragons for the first time
Ever?
ever.
Do you know how to play it? Do you have like
And I'm a beginner. I'm a noob.
Well, yeah, you say you've never played.
Yeah, I've never played, but it's cool. So it'll be like a welcoming environment. They're ready. The DM seems prepared to help me. Like, get used to the game.
Well, we should, for the folks at home, what is Dungeons and Dragons?
All right, Dungeons and Dragons is this like wonderful, weird, wide-ranging fantasy game, and it's an RPG. It's a role-playing game where you pretend to be some character and you team up with a group of other characters and you're trying to like go on a quest, accomplish some sort of goal. The most simple one would be, you find yourself in a dungeon and you have to slay a dragon.
Yeah, I've played it once before.
You played?
I've played once. It didn't go well. I guess when it doesn't go well, who do you blame, right? You blame the dungeon master, because the dungeon master kind of puts the story together and kind of keeps the plot going. And so it wasn't a great experience. And what turned me off of it, I'm not sure it's for me, is because it's the fact that it's so free form. I need more rules, and I need I need a little more structure. It's like a lot of it's you just kind of make it up as you go along, right?
I don't know. I've never played. I don't know how much of that is like the dungeon master like determining like what goes on, and how much say like the party has in what happens. I don't know. All I know is you roll a lot of dice and you make a lot of decisions.
Yeah, they've got like the 20-sided dice, right? A bunch of weird shaped dice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go around making
Abby's butthole. Oh my god.
So I think it works like this. So the dungeon, you're like, I'm gonna go in this cave, and then the dungeon master's like, Mark walks into the cave. It's spooky in there. There's a box sitting in the corner, and then you're like, I'm gonna open the box, and then they're like, roll for what's in the box, And if you roll high, then it's like, oh, you found a sword. Now you've got a sword. Or if you roll low, it's like, oh, there's a snake in there. It bites you.
But it gets even more intricate than that. Like you have to like pick the lock, and like your character has like a lock picking skill. You might be like a rogue or something, and you have to like roll to succeed at that.
I see. So there is more structure to it probably than my understanding of it. Because I don't really know about like the skills and all that. Well, that was kind of something you wanted to go over, right? Because you need to create a character to bring to the game.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So I am a beginner and I don't have a character yet. And it seems like the character is the most important thing.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the character creation, because I remember doing this, but we did it like hastily. So it was...
Yeah, you might have had like a pre-built character or something, like a starter character.
Make that sense.
And you end up being like a dwarf or something. But to really get into it, like people like to make their characters like almost like alter egos, and they have complicated backstories and like intricate details about them. You can pick from. So you could pick from. You have a lot of options. What we're playing is Dungeons and Dragons Edition 5. So there is a certain set of like archetypes you can choose. I think there are 7, 12. I don't know. We should look that up.
Yeah, let's get the Google up here. Ooh, there's a PDF. Love it when the link is a PDF. Okay, yeah. Now we're really in D&D territory here.
Well, this would be a character sheet.
I think these are starter characters.
Oh, like pre-made.
Yeah, this one, like, this is a soldier who's neutral good and has all these things. You know, you just slap a name on him.
So he's a cleric. He's a hill dwarf. So you pick your class. You pick your race.
Yeah, it looks like there's a few. You know, you got strength, dexterity, constitution,
wisdom, intelligence, charisma.
What do you think constitution is for?
I don't know. Maybe like poisons.
Oh.
Or like you break your ankle, trip it over a rock.
Yeah. Sounds likely. So yeah, why don't you just do one of these starter ones? Sounds way easier. Look, you can be a criminal rogue, and yet neutral alignment.
Well, I don't know. See, I have this character in mind that I want to play, but it might be a little ambitious for a first timer. But the character I want to play is awesome. So, I used to play a lot of. I've never played D&D, but I've played all of these like D&D derivative games. Like, do you remember Warcraft?
World of Warcraft?
Not WoW, exactly. Like Warcraft 3, Diablo.
I know what they are. I've never been a big video gamer.
League of Legends.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, these like PC games back in the day, and I'm kind of familiar with like some of the D&D like lore and like archetypes. So I really want my character to be this necromancer.
Yeah, you had mentioned that. And for the folks at home, a necromancer is someone who has sex with dead bodies?
No, it's a necrophiliac. A necromancer is like a dark wizard with powers to raise the dead. And the cool thing about a necromancer, particularly besides them just being badass, I mean, dark magic that raises the dead, it's really cool. But the idea behind a necromancer is like you have all these minions that do your fighting for you. So you can raise like skeletons and zombies and all the way up to like flesh golems that are your undead army.
What is a flesh golem?
It's kind of like there's like a subset of necromancer who's kind of like it's like a necromancer / artificer who is kind of like think of like Dr. Frankenstein, who is trying to reanimate life to create this like being that serves them. And that would be a flesh golem.
Well, sounds pretty perverted, if you ask me.
Super cool. But I hear a necromancer is hard to play because you're no longer just controlling like one wizard character and like managing spells and all that. You're also managing your minions. So there's a lot of extra rolling of the dice that goes on. I hear it can kind of slow the game down if you have a necromancer because your turns take a really long time. And it's kind of a more managed, strategic type character.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
So let me go a little further because I'm glad you asked. My necromancer's name is Dr. Schlaps. And
yes, explain why. Dr. Schlaps?
Dr. Schlaps was
Schlaps.
a physician and he didn't think medicine went quite far enough. He discovered the dark arts. Perhaps he acquired a book or something, maybe some evil talisman, and it gave him the power to animate the dead. And yeah, so he's kind of like a mad scientist.
Yeah, that appeals to you.
Yeah,
Do you feel like a mad scientist?
not necessarily, but I find some humor in it. You know, I think humor is an important part of D&D because otherwise, where's the fun? Like,
I worry that if I tried to play, because I have coworkers that like D&D too, and I worry if I ever tried to play with them, I wouldn't be able to stay in the in the bit. You know, I would get too sarcastic. Or,
I think hardcore. The more hardcore you get at playing, the more you stay like in character. You even do voices and stuff.
D&D has been around forever, right?
Oh, you enter the dungeon.
I know people were playing it in like the 70s, right?
At least the 80s. You know that show, the Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's had a
They play it.
It's had a moment.
I remember it in the movie SLC Punk. Right? You know, they're kids and they're playing it. I think that was supposed to be the 70s or 80s, right?
Probably the 80s, 90s.
That was when they grew up.
Oh, but as kids they were playing it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
it's been around forever, and it hasn't been digitized. Do you think it would turn into a video game, and then people would only play it online? But that it stayed more of it's closer to like a tabletop game, like Monopoly or something, right?
Yeah. Although there are all these online derivatives, and I was talking to some people, and they said, "Yeah, there's this website. It's called like D20 or something, and we play online." And you get a nice little graphic representation like of the map, like the dungeon, and you can kind of follow your character around. It's like a video game.
Yeah, I think a dude that I know has he said he had like a setup where he was probably using that, and then he had a projector projecting down onto his table.
Now that's cool.
Sounds pretty dope.
Yeah. You know, you ever been to like one of these board game shops?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one in San Rafael, and they sold like pieces for Dungeons and Dragons.
They have like Magic the Gathering tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, Pokemon.
It was Pokemon.
Yeah, that's why I was there, and because I was babysitting, and we went to the Pokemon tournament. Anyway, they sell these like, you know, intricate like figurines and tabletop pieces. I just thought it would be cool if you could like 3D print those and make custom pieces and just sell them.
Well, so what is Warhammer? Because that's a big people 3D print Warhammer figurines.
Yeah, that's another tabletop game that's real popular.
So it's not entwined with D&D. It's a different thing.
It's its own like universe.
Mm. Seems like similar characters though. So dwarves with big axes and just Lord of the Rings ass shit.
Well, that's what's so cool about D&D. I don't know exactly how it compares to Warcraft, but I think Warcraft is the same, or not Warcraft, Warhammer. Warhammer is like the same way in that D&D is like this like engine. It's like a template. It's like a set of rules, and you can make many different games on top of it. So if you don't want to do Dungeons and Dragons, you can do like, spaceships and aliens.
Oh, really?
Or you can do, I don't know, whatever your mind comes up with. And I've heard like cowboy stories and detective stories, and
little noir D&D.
Yeah, Gary Zizaks, I think was the name of the guy who invented D&D.
No,
and big nerd, but he came up with these gameplay mechanics that are pretty ingenious. Like you can do a lot with them.
Yeah, mechanics is that's the tough part. If you want to make a game, you got to make it engaging. You know, it's got to be just hard enough. Or I don't like card games had a little renaissance there like a few years ago. You know, so I think like Cards Against Humanity might have kind of kicked it off with their like incredibly popular card game. But then there were a bunch of like indie
Clones.
card games and board games. Yeah, and some they started getting really derivative. You know, like
Yeah, I played this one called Red Flags the other week.
yeah,
And it was just like Cards Against Humanity.
yeah, or like the like who done it sort of card game. But kind of like what Among Us was spun off into as a video game. But there's like, you know, I have Secret Hitler is one version of it, and then I played another one that was called like Midnight Werewolf or something, and it's all like one person's a werewolf, and we have to figure out who by, you know, do rounds of guessing.
Yeah, like Among Us.
Yeah, I used to play one just online. I would just go play it in the browser, and it was called Town of Salem. You ever heard of that?
What is that?
The same,
Like
same.
witches?
Yeah, witches. Anyway,
So yeah.
yeah. What are we going on about?
If you had a D&D character, you know, what would it be?
Oh, it'd be a robot with all kinds of features.
Too late. The guy I'm playing with was describing to me his character. We were just having a little chat about, hey, this is my first time. And he said, yeah, I'm a paladin. I'm a robot.
Too late. There can only be one robot.
I'm just saying I'm not as impressed because he had the same idea.
Well,
Let's
fuck
do
you.
that again. A robot?
Fuck yourself.
Cool.
Yeah. Pete, what's your favorite board game?
I like Monopoly a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty fun. It's got that right amount of like strategy and chance. And you know, I love to just buy those, you know, buy like those orange properties and just sit on them, make a lot of rent.
The orange properties, is that a boardwalk?
No, that's blue.
Oh, that's blue. What the most expensive ones are
Boardwalk and Park Place.
Park Place. Yeah. You like the red ones? The orange ones?
The orange ones.
What are the orange ones?
The light blue ones are good too. I'm just talking about I don't know. I enjoy Monopoly. I'm not like a hardcore fan. I haven't played in years, but it's fun.
Monopoly is a hard game to play because it can either go for an hour or it can go for 5 hours.
Yeah, or like days.
Yeah, it is very easy for a game of Monopoly to last for forever.
Yeah, it's fun. Sorry or like Trouble, you know, that doesn't really do it for me.
No?
No, you just pop the little thing and the dice roll.
Yeah, not a lot of strategy in that, right?
No.
Like you might as well just flip coins.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of stupid, but
You know, it's a weird game.
What?
Tic-tac-toe, you know? It's such a popular game, you know? It's like such a part of the, I don't know, the American culture or something. Well, I shouldn't say that because it's probably not American at all. But tic-tac-toe, such a horribly flawed game, you know? Like, you know, if you're starting, and
it's like rock paper scissors.
no, rock paper scissors doesn't have the flaw. Tic-tac-toe, you can play it in a way that no one can ever beat you. You know, if you start first, you can always at least make it a draw. And even if you start second, if you play perfectly, you know, and it's not hard. I don't know. It's a dumb game. It's weird that it's like part of the culture, like kids play it and stuff. There's so many better.
You're right. Rock paper scissors is a better game.
Rock paper scissors is a better constructed game. Yeah.
It's a total mind trip, you know.
Yeah. You can't really. There's no way to strategize rock paper scissors though, right? I mean, unless you just like.
But I've heard there is.
This guy's a paper guy.
I've heard there's like a strategy.
I've seen
where
his stock portfolio, paper hands. Right?
You you think like 2 moves ahead or something. I don't know. It's weird.
How do you think 2 moves ahead?
40 chess.
You don't know what they can do anything.
You play paper. I play.
Let's play 3. The best 2 out of 3.
Okay, yeah, this
All
will
right,
be
here we
interesting.
Oof. Oh, that's 2. That's 2.
But you see, one thing that I did was I played scissors, which you just using to beat me, and I beat you. That is a strategy.
Well, see, I was trying to use psychology because so I had just beaten your paper with scissors, and so I thought, no way he's going to use paper because
again.
paper has just become weak, in our, paper loses. He's never going to expect me to play paper.
Yeah,
You did.
Yeah.
You did expect it. You were counting on it, actually, when you pulled them scissors out. Neither of us used rock once in all three games.
Interesting.
It was paper or scissors.
Whatever we do, let's not use that as the Instagram clip.
What?
It's so lame. We're just
No,
playing rock, paper,
what?
scissors.
Now I'm going to use it as an Instagram clip for sure. Your favorite board game is Monopoly, Pete? You're so vanilla.
What do you like? What's your
Did
favorite
you grow
board
up in the middle of Kansas?
Yeah, I did, in fact. That I did.
Well,
What's your favorite board game?
it's a card game. Does that work? Like, not like,
Yeah,
it's a
I'll-
card set.
I'll allow it.
Exploding Kittens.
I've played that. I found it got a little old after a while.
So when I lived with a bunch of roommates, that was like our game. Like every Friday night, we would all play Exploding Kittens, and it got more intense each time because we all knew the game so well. The pack was like, the cards were just all fucked up and like, had beer spilt on them several times. And one time my buddy threw me against the wall over a game of a pretty mild-mannered guy. Paul, call me, Paul. The guy threw me against a wall because I took his diffusing card, which was like it's the most important card in the game. So you could diffuse the great game. I like Secret Hitler because that format I'm talking about, find out who, in this one you have to find Hitler, and that is a fun format.
There's this one, what's it called? I think we've played it together. You have like the little colored pegs and you make a pattern and the other person tries to guess it in so many moves. It's kind of like Wordle.
Colored? No, it sounds fun.
Yeah, what's it called? I don't know. But it's just like iterations of like a pattern and you try to like figure it out.
I don't know. Sounds fun. Sounds like you're just making it up though. It's a good game, Keep pursuing it.
Can you imagine the people who invent board games?
Yeah, they've got to be pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
No, I had a roommate who he wanted to make a board game or a card game, I think. Kind of like I don't know, we were both pretty into, what is that? The card game that was made from League of Legends? It was like an online card game, but
Oh, I don't know. Victor made me play it once.
it was pretty fun. Like, I had it like on the iPad, so it's, end up going to sleep way too late. So you're like, oh, just play a couple of laying in bed. Next thing you know, it was like Candy Crush for millennials. Hearthstone. I think that was the name of the game.
That doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, maybe that's not it. No, board games are fun. What's another good one? It's not a good one. That was really, really popular. And it was so annoying for a while. Every time I'd be at a party, I'd be like, you guys want to play apples to apples?
That was Cards Against Humanity before Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, Cards Against Humanity makes it work because it's not fun because it's a good game. It's fun because you get to say dirty things and you make fun dirty. Apples to apples takes that fun part out and all you're left with is a pretty bad game mechanically, because it's all at the whim of the person, you know.
You're saying it's like a popularity contest?
Well, it's anonymized, right? You know that. So
But you can kind of tell who played what card.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's not for me because it's very frustrating, you know, when you know that you have the best combination.
You like to think you're the funniest person in the
room.
room.
And they're like, oh, well, I like don't peanut pick butter, card, so I pick this
you
card.
go all Dennis Reynolds on What? No, hilarious.
No, it's clear that this was the superior. Yeah. I end up in that situation.
See, I'm pretty good at Cards Against... I'm pretty good at those games. Like, I don't know. I just have this like dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
I often win.
Yeah, well, I should always win. Yeah, so not a fan. I mean, I like Cards Against Humanity just because it is so ridiculous. But those other apples to apples can go to hell.
We should bring it back to Dungeons and Dragons, just like briefly.
Okay, bring it back.
So I want to make this necromancer, and that would technically be like a subclass of a wizard, which is one of the, again, I don't know, maybe 12 like archetype starter characters you can have. You can have like a rogue, a paladin, a cleric, a druid, a ranger.
You could be a panda bear in World of Warcraft. Can you be a panda bear?
I don't know if that's considered homebrew or not. I don't know if you have to pick from like D&D lore or if you really can come up with your own stuff. I mean, I think the robot character is kind of a homebrew character, but I'm also not really sure what homebrew means in the concept of D&D.
So when you're role playing, when you're LARPing this character at the D&D table, what's going to be your voice? Let's hear Dr. Schlaps.
I haven't figured out the voice yet.
No? Well, you figured out the face.
Dr. Schlaps.
Oh no, my jewels! Oh man, I don't know. We should do more board games. I tried to get a poker night going. It didn't catch on. Did we ever play one?
Once.
Pete has chips, right?
We played poker with Pete once.
I don't think we did. Did we?
Yeah, we did. We had chips.
I don't remember.
We
that.
used chips.
Where, at Pete's?
Yeah, I think it was at Pete's. No, it was up here.
Never happened.
And we played with Pete and someone else.
Why would I repress that memory?
Because you were probably hammered.
Was it traumatic?
You did lose.
Yeah,
I was winning.
That's pretty typical. Ooh, that does ring a bell. Yeah, I think I remember you doing remarkably well right out the gate. Yeah, always the beginner's luck. I like. Do you like gambling, Pete?
I'm not like I consider myself lucky, but I'm not really a gambler.
Why wouldn't you be a gambler if you?
It's like
if
anytime
so
there's
lucky?
something on the line, then I'm just automatically cursed. Like,
Yeah,
I lose.
I made you go gambling with me one time. Remember we went to the casino?
Yeah, we lost
Yeah, pretty
several
swiftly.
tens of dollars on blackjack.
Blackjack's my favorite game. Yeah, because you the odds are only slightly in the house's favor. You know, it's like they say if you play perfect blackjack, it's like 49 point something to 50 point something in the house's favor. That's if you play like a perfect, you know, game, like according to odds. But then it's very fun and easy to delude yourself to think that you're counting cards and you're stealing the advantage, you know? And you're not really. I mean, it's like they've got like four decks of cards there that they're shuffling through. All the.
I always think of that meme from The Hangover with Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, just with the sequence
Like
where there's all
the Ico Ico song is playing, and like all the math is like floating around his head.
Yeah, exactly. So when I'm playing blackjack, I'm thinking that I'm counting the cards, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a sure thing. But I don't know. Yeah, can't gamble too much because I feel like I've got the bug. I would be an addict because every time I go, I never. Sometimes I'll win a lot, but I'm having so much fun that I'll stay until I've spent it all. Until all the winnings go back down to zero. But I don't know. It's probably healthier, right? Someone once said, "I'm really lucky when it comes to gambling, because I've never won." Yeah.
Don't get religious on me.
Because when you win, then you're like, oh my goodness, I could win again.
Yeah, you've just got to know when to quit,
You got to know when to hold
when
them,
to hold them, and when to fold them.
when to walk away, yeah, when to run. No. Yeah, one time, the first time I ever gambled any money at a casino, I was just going there because my friend was a bartender at the casino, and they had a bunch of chips. We were about to go do something else, and they wanted to cash in their chips that they'd gotten as tips. They had like a freezer bag full of them, and so we were at the casino, and I was waiting for them. And so I just sat down at a slot machine, put $20 in, and like 2 rolls in, won like $200. It was awesome. And I would think about it every time I see a slot machine now.
I'm good at this.
I know this game. Yeah, I know. It's so you like quickly develop like all kinds of superstitions too. Like if you've played one game that's got a lion on the screen, then you're always looking for that game. Is that a little lion? Oh, it's a tiger.
Well, what
Close
is
enough.
it? The classic ones are like, it's like a 7 bar cherries. It's like a lemon.
Yeah. Yeah. And big red X maybe.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you go to a casino and they've got like all the flashy new games, but they always have like several rows of the old-timey
Classic slot machines.
Yeah. Why even keep those around? Do you think that they have like a customer base that prefers those, and so they keep them for them?
It's a cool aesthetic. It's a cool aesthetic.
I mean, you really should not trust any electronic casino game because they're just tuning it, right? Like if they're not making enough money there, they can probably just adjust a value and
Harder.
yeah, all of a sudden people start winning less. And they probably do it person to person. They got the cameras, face scanners, IDing people. They only let you lose for a while. They see you. Oh, he's got a vein bulging. He's starting to get frustrated. Give him a win. So this was the Mark and Pete podcast. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and
Find us on Instagram and TikTok.
follow the affiliate link for the hangover pills.
Yeah.
Yeah. That money.
Buy some products. Cure your hangover.
Yeah. Check out the blurbs. Don't forget to check out the blurbs. And have yourself a merry little Christmas.